Happy Sip and Sparkle Sunday. Hello, Miss Casey.
Hello there.
How are you?
Good.
It's so good to see you.
Thank you. I feel honored. Martin Luthkus was sitting here. He told me to tell people that.
The celebrity, I know, right? Well, you could be a celebrity too. So,
Yeah.
So very excited you're here. We take a sip, so let's quickly take a sip.
And now we sparkle.
I know, exactly. It's kind of appley. Yum. Very good. Okay, so for those of you who are just joining us for the first time, I host a weekly series, Sip and Sparkle Sunday, where I interview local small business owners in our community, of which Casey is one of them. And I'm so eager to chat with her because many of you may already know Casey, but there is so much to her background and to really what she does that if you do network with her, it's such a small component that you hear about. So I'm really eager to share this with y'all because she's just amazing. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you. And
Thank you.
You can share a little bit and we'll just go from there.
Perfect. So I started I'm an environmental educator by profession, but I started off working at a pediatric trauma center in California, which is where I learned that the environment plays such an important part in our health.
Oh, totally.
Who knew?
Right.
I had no idea. And I was asking a lot of questions, as I normally do. And how could that be? Well, because the Central Valley has such a high asthmatic rate, that makes sense. You know, the inverted air, okay, that makes sense. But all the other things I was learning, I had never heard about before. So it gave me a real appreciation for our Earth. And we all live in the earth, we all take advantage of it, we all take it for granted, but when you start to really learn, for instance, I love that one tree provides enough oxygen for 4 people every day.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. That's
Who knew?
cool. Yeah.
And that there are thousands of species in the ocean, many of which have not even been named yet. And that provides the cycle of life for them and for us. And it provides the water, provides so much besides recreation and food, and there's just so much. We just don't know. We just don't appreciate. So, and I also love the fact that we, you and I, everybody, has the opportunity and the responsibility to do what we can to preserve our surroundings. We do. We just do. And so as a result, we can consume less, we can repurpose what we do have, and then recycle the rest. So what do I do? Well, I teach environmental classes. So I teach kids and adults about environmental lessons, about litter prevention, recycling, water pollution. What happens when you throw something away? Where is away? Where exactly is that? I don't know. Well, to help me teach, I brought a little friend. Hello. This is Rita Mae. I named her after my dear sister.
Hello, Rita Mae.
So sweet.
Hi.
She helps me teach people about throwaways. Rita Mae Throwaway. So what we do is we go into classrooms and I teach kids about litter prevention. I teach what litter is, because a lot of people have no clue what litter is, right? Right, okay. And then I teach about recycling. A lot of people say, well, recycling is really difficult because some things you can and some things you can't, and it's just not that hard. So I teach them how to do that. And then we teach about repurposing. And we teach about how to use something that you might just throw away or after have a single use. What can you do with it afterwards? And so then my third component of my program is that I make things out of repurposed items, and I teach the repurposed classes. I teach people how to do that, and then I have my own line of cards and gifts that I make to sell. So that is in a nutshell what I do.
Wow.
And Rita Mae helps me. Well, when I first started this business, I was working for one of the cities in Collin County, and I was teaching about the environmental issues, and then I would tell people, by the way, besides learning about how important this is, you can make some really cool things. yeah, really cool things out of things that you would normally throw away. Well, what kind of things? So then I would bring stuff, and people said, oh, I want to learn how to do that. Well, my boss didn't want to pay me to play.
Yeah.
No.
Probably not.
She frowned at that, yeah.
Yeah.
So I started teaching for free in the evenings and on weekends.
Okay.
And that just did me in.
I'm sure.
I was so exhausted. We just couldn't do it. So God put it on my heart. You needed to start your own business. And I'm going, what? That is not going to happen. So, but I did. I managed to muddle through, and I thought my business would be composing of teaching others how to do what I do.
Right.
And everybody loved the classes, loved the workshops, and then they would say afterwards, I loved it. I love knowing that I can be creative, but from now on, I'll pay you to make the stuff. That's not what we had in mind. That is not our intention. So I still am trying really hard to teach, because I think that's the most important thing. Everybody's got creativity in them. It's just a matter of unlocking it, and we can do that. So that's what I try to do more of and promote more of. But I still make a whole bunch of cards and a whole bunch of gifts.
I know, and she's amazing too. Your cards are just absolutely amazing. They're so pretty. I think I told you the story. I have one of my best friends. She lives in Florida, and it was a couple of years ago, and I got one of your birthday cards. And I got her, nice piece of jewelry to go with it. And I knew she liked the jewelry, so I thought, oh, she'll like that. She said, oh, the jewelry or the earrings are lovely, but she said that card is a keeper.
Aww.
And she meant it. And I mean, not in a bad way about anything, but she just said that card is something I will always treasure.
Aww.
Yeah. And she's not somebody who's like overly sentimental. So,
Well, it's funny
pretty
because
cool.
I have people that I've made cards for, I don't know, 10 years ago, and they still have them. And I said, it's okay if you put them in the recycle bin.
Right.
They've lived their life.
Right.
No, it has my name on it. It was made especially for me. It's like, okay, just a suggestion.
Is there one thing that maybe you could share with the viewers today that you think they might kind of know, but not really, and that could be helpful?
Well, the most difficult lesson to teach is water conservation. Especially since we've had all this rain.
Right.
And people say, well, why are you telling me to conserve water? It's coming down. We've got tons of it. Why are you asking that? Well, people don't understand that the groundwater is what is depleted by more and more people using it. So we have reservoirs underneath that collect all that water. Do you get that? But if we deplete it faster than it's being collected, then we got a problem. And I heard a couple of years ago that the next biggest conflict is going to be about water.
Wow.
Because people don't have clean water. We're fortunate here. We turn on the tap and it's clean and we're good to go. We cook with it, we bathe in it, we recreate in it. It's clean, we're good. Not everybody has that luxury.
No.
And when you see other countries where the water is so ugly and dirty and the people are drinking from it, then you wonder, how do they maintain their health? And they don't. Many of them, their systems are compromised and they get very, very ill. Yeah. And so we want to teach people to conserve. Shut the water off when you're brushing your teeth. Don't use more than you can always get more. Don't, when I fill up my dog's bowl of water in the morning, I don't fill it up to the top. I fill it halfway, and when he's done with it, I fill it up again, because you don't want it to get stale and warm and all that. So I just use what you can right now. And that's the best way. Shower less. I took one of those timers and I thought, oh, this is going to be so fun. I could do this. Well, fortunately, I don't shower for very long. But when you have to wash your hair and you have to put conditioner and then it's like, uh-oh, the sand is going down fast. So just have to be aware.
What drives me crazy here, too, with, the huge growth that we have in, these huge homes and big yards, that the sprinklers are running during the rain or after it's just rained. Right. And I mean, nobody should be running their sprinklers right now. I mean,
well, some of them are, especially like on schools and government properties, they're on timers, and it takes,
I know, an act of Congress literally to get it
to stop. Yeah.
But you know, I hear we have an irrigation specialist in one of my networking meetings, Rodney Haynes with Haynes Irrigation, and he often talks about how, you know, it's so important to have it, you know, run in certain sections for only just a couple minutes at a time. Don't let it run for 30 minutes, you know, and
as soon as you can see the water running off.
Yep, it's not absorbing. Yep, right, it's not absorbing.
Right, because of the soil that we have here. And then water pollution. I have a really fun class for kids. Rita May likes that one too. It's all about, we come up with a container that's clear water.
Right.
And we have little fishies in there.
Like real fish or?
No.
I'm like, well, I didn't know.
No. Little fishies.
Goldfish.
And then we show the kids, okay, so daddy fertilized, or mommy fertilized the ground, the grass, and some of the fertilization went down the driveway and now it's going into the drain, and so we put a little bit of fertilized stuff in there, and then we put dog poop. People didn't pick up their dog poop, and so we put a little bit of dog poop, not real.
Right.
You know. And then we put in all the different things that could oil when you have a car that needs to be serviced, and it drips oil, and that gets down into the storm drain. People throw stuff on the ground. I don't know why. I have no idea why they do that, but it ends up in the storm drains, and then it ends up in the water. So all of a sudden, this little container with fishies, you can't see them anymore.
Oh, gosh.
Because it's all so murky.
Yeah.
And so the kids, every time we put something else in there that represents a real thing, then they're like, well, what's happened to Freddie? His name's Freddie. What happened to Freddie? Mm-hmm. Well, Freddie's going to be very sick, or he's going to die because he can't drink clear water. It's a really powerful.
That's a great visual. Mm-hmm. Great visual.
So let's ask her. Let's ask Lisa. Okay. What is the most littered thing in the world?
The most littered thing in the world?
In the world. In the whole world. What do you think? What do you think? She's going to get it.
Cigarette?
Yes.
Is it really?
Yes.
Wow.
Cigarette butt.
Oh, that's so disgusting.
Yeah. And people, let me tell you something. 50 years ago, or more now, maybe 55 years ago, cigarettes were completely biodegradable. Mm-hmm. The tobacco, completely biodegradable. The paper around it, biodegradable. The filters, 100% cotton, biodegradable. Well, about 50, 60 years ago, the cigarette manufacturers, probably for cost, changed that filter to something called cellulose acetate. What the heck is that? Mm-hmm. Plastic.
Oh, wow.
Plastic. So,
because it was cheaper to make, probably.
So now, when you look at a cigarette, it feels like cotton. It looks like cotton, but it's plastic.
Wow.
So that cigarette butt will never biodegrade. But now, somebody over here smokes a half a pack a day, you smoke a half a pack a day, this one's it starts to add up pretty darn quick for your health. And then if you don't put them in the proper place to dispose of them, now they're on the streets going into the storm drains. Now
polluting the water
it's
source.
Going into the water.
Wow.
Now we're blessed to live in a country. You can smoke if you want. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to listen to the wisdom of how it's bad for you.
Right. It's your choice. You have freedom to do what you choose.
But you do not have a choice to poison me.
Good point.
I don't smoke. I don't want to have your poisons from your chemicals that are in your cigarette poisoning me and my family.
How can we help you today? What type of individual or organization are you looking for at this point in time?
Well, I love to teach. I just love it. And I keep in contact with people from all over the world and learn about their issues regarding the environment. So it's very interesting how much we have in common and how much we don't, and how many issues are so different than ours. But they're concerned and they care. And so I love to teach that. So I do that in a classroom setting, scouts, church groups, kiddos that want to learn about that. And then the repurpose workshops, those are my fave because I can teach people to utilize what you already have in your home.
Yes.
That we can repurpose. And if it can be recycled, it will be at some point. We're just prolonging the life to make something beautiful, either a greeting card or a gift. I make some really cute gifts. I really do.
She does. She's got a great sense of humor. So, and she custom makes them. So, you know, if you have an event coming up, you know, well, Father's Day is coming up, but she will specialize it towards that particular individual.
And
so.
I will soon have online, I will have like wedding gifts. Or, you know what I do? I put together a big package of, if you want to have children want to have an eco party. We will we'll make the favors, we'll make the place setting, we'll make the decorations, and we'll make the giveaways. So it's all a big old party, and then they're learning, and they're doing, and everybody goes home with something that they made with their names on it. So it's it really serves as a dual purpose. So it's
that's
really
awesome.
Fun. And then I have a packet for weddings. I do gifts for bridesmaids. I do gifts that the bride can give to mom and dad and vice versa. So what do you think? Pretty cool, huh? Would you like to go back in your little bag? Okay, go back. The name of my business is Earth Inspired Cards, Gifts, and Education. And I slip in the education every time I do a class because I think it's important to tell people, why are we doing this? Why should we care? Why don't we just go to the store and buy something brand new? Why should we do repurposing? So kind of slip that in. And then my website is earthinspiredcrafts.com. Okay. And then you go to, there's a little contact link, and you go there and just talk to me.
Okay.
Tell me what you need, and I'll do it.
I love it. So I didn't ask you this, but how did you make it to Texas, being a California gal?
I was offered a job here in Texas. And since my family is kind of all in the Midwest, I thought, well, the job sounded really exciting. I loved my job in California, working for the Children's Hospital. I just loved it. Best job ever. But this job here in the Dallas area sounded really intriguing as well. So I sold everything there, hopped on a plane, got here, and the job no longer existed.
Oh, no.
So it's like, okay, well, that's interesting.
Wow.
Now what?
I know. So now what?
You don't know anybody. It's like, so I've got a truck coming with all of my belongings.
Oh, my goodness.
From California. Where shall I say we're going to put it?
Wow. So what did you do?
I put everything in storage. I stayed with some relatives and started looking for a job. And
wow.
So that's how
and then you ended up with the city. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting. And how long were you with the city?
Oh, gosh, probably about 8 or 9 years, somewhere in there.
Wow. Okay.
So I learned so much more on top of what I learned from the hospital, the pediatric, the health side of it. Then I learned from the city standpoint how much you and I pay in taxes to have somebody else pick up our litter. How dumb.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's so simple. And if you go to a park, you'll have a recycling bin and a trash bin right there. Several. And then people are having a picnic, and then they throw it on the ground. And I want to go up to them and I want to say, what are you thinking? Do you not see those over there? It doesn't apply to them. So unless we get that mindset that this is our home.
Right.
The earth is our home. Unless we embrace that, then we're going to trash it. Yeah, I think with the repurposing aspect, when people can see, even if it's not making something, a card or a gift, you can repurpose. For instance, I should have brought a little show and tell, but you take these Mylar balloons, which are not recyclable, which are awful for the environment, but people get them. Well, once they're deflated, then you turn them inside out, and they have this shiny inside, and so use them as a gift wrap. Put your little gift in there, wrap it up with some ribbon,
give
good
it
idea.
To
a person, and then that person can use it because nothing happens to it.
Right.
Even the more you wrinkle it, the prettier it is.
Right, exactly.
So then you tell somebody, now I want you to reuse this. So when you give a gift to somebody, so it could really, until it rips, which it eventually will, but, and then it has to be put in the trash. But in the meantime, you're prolonging that life. And I'll tell you what, if you ever want to see something really mind-boggling, go to a landfill. But I was astounded by the birds. It had to be a million birds. I just didn't think of that there would be birds around a landfill.
Yeah, that surprises me too. Why
Because
is
of the
that?
food.
Oh, of course.
Because people don't compost, and so
Scavengers, yeah.
I am on the cities. Why, if we have recycle pickup and trash pickup, why
Right.
don't we have compost pickup? You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'd pay extra to know that again, now people there's certain things you can't compost,
Mm-hmm.
but fruits and vegetables and stuff like that, and then they combine it with the earth, with soil,
Mm-hmm.
and then you put it in your plants, your yard.
Oh, we did that in our previous house. It was great. And I'll tell you, our flowers and the vegetables we grew were amazing
Right.
from this. Because it's all getting nutrients from all of that.
From real food,
Yeah,
that came from the earth.
Exactly.
Instead of getting chemicals and not knowing from the bags, you start looking at the chemicals and going,
Yeah.
I don't want to put that on my grass. But when you start putting natural stuff that, and I don't understand why there's not a bigger push for that.
You're just so passionate about what you do, and it's really inspiring.
Well, until
really
I was at the
inspiring.
hospital and learned about how it affects our health. Now that's personal.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, hey, wait a minute, I've got to learn more about this. And our hospital was a pediatric trauma center, so a lot of children who had health-related issues that then could be traced to environmental issues. It's like, oh my goodness.
I know.
So we have
crazy.
to pay attention to this.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, so.
Absolutely.
And besides that, it literally looks bad.
Oh, yeah. It's just, you don't want to.
And our property values, when I first came here and I was looking for a place to live, it was really funny. I didn't even realize I was doing this, but if I would go into a neighborhood and there was a lot of litter in the middle of the street or on the lawns, I told the realtor, I don't want to be in a neighborhood like this. And I didn't know why. It just didn't.
It didn't feel right.
What it did was it told me that the neighbors don't care.
Right,
That
exactly.
they didn't care about their own property,
Right.
and they certainly didn't care about the property that they shared.
Right.
So I don't want to
blame
be
you.
part of that. So that was, and then I since learned that property values are absolutely affected, and so many other things are affected, and our taxes. It's incredible how we have to pay for the city trucks, the drivers, their health insurance, gas, maintenance. That's a pretty penny. So if you ever want
It
to
is.
find out.
It is. That is very true. Very true. So, what's your website again? One more time.
It's www.earthinspiredcrafts.com.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thanks again. This has just been awesome. And, if you want to schedule a very cool training, with your coworkers, or educational for if you have kiddos, or just if you want something especially awesome and unique for a loved one, Casey is your gal. So
Let's be creative together.
let's be creative together. So, all right. Well, until next Sunday, may you sip and sparkle. Have a good one. Bye, y'all. Cheers.